Hello, my name is Ross Kerwin, and I am pleased to be your host for the gourmet portion of tonight's program. I would like to welcome you all to the Rotary Club of Huntsville's Celebrity Chef Culinary Experience. Who would have thought a year ago we would be planning a virtual event showcasing 3 of Huntsville's top chefs, as well as an amazing lineup of entertainers, all from the comfort of your own homes. You are definitely in for a treat tonight. The Rotary Club of Huntsville was founded in 1934, and since that time has brought together like-minded individuals to provide humanitarian service and to advance goodwill and peace around the world. Together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. You will learn more about our club in a short slideshow that will be running when you log on to entertainment portion later in the evening. If you would like more information about the Rotary Club of Huntsville, well, please log on our website, info@rotaryclubofhuntsville.com. The proceeds from tonight's event will be going to Hospice Huntsville. This amazing organization provides care and support to individuals and their families and caregivers who are facing end-of-life situations. Please welcome Melissa Polischuk to tell us a bit more.
Thank you, Ross. Hello, my name is Melissa Polischuk, and I'm the Fund Development and Public Relations Coordinator for Hospice Huntsville. Thank you so much for being a part of this wonderful event in supporting Hospice Huntsville. Our organization has been in our community since 1989. We provide grief and bereavement programs and services for adults, children, and teens. We also provide visiting hospice services. Thank you to the Rotary Club of Huntsville for all their generous support and hard work on this fabulous event. Enjoy your meal.
Thank you, Melissa. We are so thankful for the amazing service that hospital provides for our community. Now for that part of the evening that you've been waiting for. I know that I have. I'm starving. When we approached the 3 chefs about doing this event, they didn't hesitate. They all have a great love of our community and are known for giving back when they can. They are going to take you through how to prepare this amazing 5-course meal that you have received today and make it look professional. Today we have the 3 amigos who are going to be providing the chef's consultation for you. Jeff Sotheby from 3 Guys in a Stove, Rory Golden from Deerhurst Resort, and Randy Spencer from Spencer's Catering. Welcome, gentlemen. So let's grab a glass of wine and let's get cooking.
All right, Rory, let's share our menu.
Okay.
I think it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
It was so much fun writing it,
lots of courses,
sourcing it.
Yeah. Lots to choose from.
Yeah, it was beautiful, right? So let's, we'll talk about the bread just for a second. So we have a sunflower rye bread that we had Jeff from Henrietta's make up for us. It's one of his best products he has, in my personal opinion. Yeah. So Jeff's going to make these up fresh for us. They're going to be all packaged for you at home. And all we have to do is slice and serve with some sweet butter, and it is dynamite.
But we're not coming to everyone's home to do that.
Correct.
We're not going to slice. Okay.
We'll do it
okay.
today, right? So next is our soup. So Rory, please share.
We're going to be having a butternut squash soup. And in that soup, we're going to have the squash. We're going to have onions. We're going to have Honeycrisp apples that go really, really well from the sweetness with the butternut squash.
And where did we source those apples from?
They're all from Ontario. We're pulling everything from Ontario, as much as we possibly can in the middle of this winter.
Yes.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to put your pot on. You can use canola oil or butter or both. We're going to put that into the pot. We're going to warm that up. We're going to add the onions to it. We're going to let the onions cook just slowly so they kind of become translucent before we add anything else in. Then we're going to add the apple. The apple will give some of the moisture. Once we add the squash, now we're going to let that just simmer, the 3 of them.
Are we going to use the skins on the apples? Or
yeah, we're going to put them in.
Everything's in?
Everything in. This is a lazy man soup.
All right.
Not the skin of the squash.
There's lots of flavor in the skin, right? Lots of flavor.
And then we're going to add a tiny bit of apple juice, and then we're going to add a vegetable stock. And you can make that ahead of time, or you can buy it. I'm sure you can buy it. And then you're going to bring that to a boil and then just let it simmer. And as that's simmering, the squash will start to thicken. And then we'll use the best tool that any chef has is the handheld mixer.
Oh, yes.
And we'll buzz the daylights out of that, so that will become thick.
But if you didn't have a burr mixer, you could use your blender. And
Yeah, you could use a blender. Yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
And then we're going to season with salt and pepper. We're going to add some maple syrup to it at the end. Don't want to add it too early because what's going to happen is the apples themselves might be too sweet.
Right.
So you add the maple syrup near the end and then use Liam Perrins as your final seasoning. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a part of just a simple yogurt and cinnamon, like a tablespoon of it.
Yeah.
We're going to mix it together. We're going to show everyone how to make a little parchment paper piping bag.
Okay.
And then we're going to put lines across the top of the soup. And that's going to allow you and your friends come over to charge more for them to eat because it looks like you've spent some time making that food. Yeah.
And I think also we're going to roast a few cashew nuts for it as well. Because that's a special little treat, right?
Yeah, I think I have pine nuts. I have pine nuts, and I think I have both of them. Oh, we'll roast them both and we'll see how it goes.
Sounds good to me. So I just wanted to talk very quickly though about the syrup. Where did we source the syrup?
So the syrup comes from the hills at Deerhurst. We have about 1,000, and a fellow Brian O'Donoghue, who has been making maple syrup for me for 10 years.
Yeah.
So he comes along and goes up there like a mountain goat and taps 1,000 trees, and we make syrup all the way through April. And we have enough syrup pretty well to go the whole year.
At the hotel?
At the hotel.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know his maple syrup is dynamite because I've had it lots.
Yeah.
So compliments to Brian for producing
absolutely.
such a beautiful product. Okay, so after that soup, Rory, getting thirsty here. Hold on a second. Delicious wine.
You still have to cook.
I know, but that's okay. But you know, you're my comp meat today. You're going to do most of the cooking, hopefully. So next we're going to talk about our salad course, and we have, little baby cabbage slaw salad that we're going to do today. And that was fun writing this recipe for this. And I just want to share the sourcing of these cabbages because Michelle's from Farmers, she has a farm down in Norfolk County. And, she picked these personally, stored them for us, and here they are today.
It wasn't last week that she did that.
No, she did not. Guaranteed. All right. So, Rory, take us through our complete salad.
So once we had the cabbage, we're going to take the outer leaves off that cabbage and you're going to save them. And then we're going to shred the rest of the cabbage that's left, the inside of it. We're going to shave that until it's like a coleslaw. And then we're going to, we went down to Four Seasons Greens in Port Sydney and asked him to develop a clamshell that will give you 4 types of sprouts. So when our guests get this, we're going to cut those sprouts off. They're going to mix those with the shredded cabbage. They're going to add some red pepper that they're going to get, and that becomes their slaw that they're going to be using for presentation.
So they're going to get these live sprouts.
Live sprouts.
Right in their home.
All they need is the scissors.
My goodness.
That's it.
Think of bringing romaine from California, right? So, 3 days later, we get it.
So now we've got a raw salad, and now we're going to make a vinaigrette. That's again going to come in your package.
Right.
And it's a celery seed vinaigrette, and it's basically celery seeds and mustard, Dijon mustard mixed together.
Right.
You're going to mix that together. You're going to add rice wine vinegar to that. So now you basically have pretty well 3/4 of the vinaigrette. And then once you add the olive oil slowly to that, the Dijon mustard is going to help emulsify that salad.
Okay.
And as you mix that, that olive oil will start to bind that vinaigrette. And then we're going to show how to put it onto the plate using those outer leaves as more like a flower. It's going to look like a flower.
Beautiful. So Michelle at Farmers, she shared this recipe for the dressing with us, which was nice of her. And of course, in your package at home, you're going to receive this vinaigrette right inside,
and all
packaged, ready to go.
Yes. And
now, the only other thing I got to ask you, because I'm looking at these sprouts, Rory, can you just share the sprouts that Steve is doing from Four Seasons Greens?
So we have pea sprouts. What that one is?
That's a daikon.
Daikon there.
Yeah.
There's a red vein sorrel, and then there's a shiso.
And the shiso
tastes like licorice.
tastes like licorice.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That'll create such a unique flavor to our salad.
And the tip is, once you mix all of that together, save a bit of it for the garnish. So when you're finishing that salad, when you're presenting, hold it back a few and put that onto it raw. So there's no binding of the vinaigrette with these. And do it near the end, because if you put this in an hour before your friends arrive, these will all be flat.
Right.
Because that acid in that vinaigrette will kill them.
And we don't want that when we have live sprouts. Sounds like a wonderful salad, Rory.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to it.
What we have here is our charcuterie board that we are presenting for this evening's dinner. You have here in front of you a cambazola, a Beemster XO, cheese curds from Temiskaming, from Thornlow, Sikorsky sausage from Lake Huron, and your usual complimentary fruits of grapes, some dried fruit, some nuts, and some chocolate. They go excellent. The Marzan Oktoberfest Lager from Canvas Brewing. The butterscotch notes in the Canvas Brewing product go well with the cheeses, especially the Beemster. They do not overpower the sausage. The saltiness of the sausage will soften the beer and bring out the flavor of the beer and the sausage. They both complement one another. So enjoy.
All right, Roy. Now it's about the entree.
Yes.
This is one of the most exciting parts of it. And of course, on our menu, we're giving people three options.
Three options.
All right, so we're going to do a chicken, we're going to do a salmon, and we're going to do a vegetarian little croquette. So people have the choice of 3 different entrees. So, but right now we got to talk about the chicken, because this chicken dish is dynamite.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it personally.
It's quite a few components, but it works.
It does work.
So-
So let's share it.
Okay.
Let's go.
So we're going to take a supreme of chicken, and we're going to lay that chicken skin side down. We're going to use a paring knife, and we're going to stab the breast through in order to make a pocket. And then we're going to mix cranberry cream cheese and sun-dried cranberries together. We could add a tiny bit of maple syrup, which I think we will do on this one. Salt and pepper, and then you put it into a piping bag, and that pocket that you made, you push that filling into it. And then now you have a filled breast of chicken. And then to hold everything together, we're going to take thin slices of prosciutto, and we're going to wrap it around the chicken. And then lay that down on baking sheets. Every meal, we're doing vegetables. We're going to give different colored carrots. We're going to give turnip. And what we're going to do then is we're going to slice them in half because they might be a bit too big. We'll season those with olive oil, and we're going to put those on the same pan as the chicken and put them into the oven. 350, and the inside should be around 160. By the time it comes out, it will be 165. And it'll take about 35 minutes in a household oven.
Okay, so what else?
And we're going to make some mash. We're going to caramelize onions in a really fast pan to get them nice and colorful and flavorful. And then we're going to mix that in with the mash.
And I think we're going to use a little bit of sour cream as well.
Yeah, to loosen it up a bit.
Loosen up the potato. Sounds like we're walking down the potato chip aisle, sour cream and onion, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mashed potatoes are great that way.
And then on this particular, you're going to get cranberry chutney that's going to be made, and it's going to come in a jar, ready to go. And again, Michelle made that as well.
Okay, so we talked about the chicken. So it's stuffed with the cream cheese and a little bit of maple. And then it's wrapped in a prosciutto, roasted up.
Yep.
Oh, sounds wonderful to me. And then we're going to serve it with a cranberry relish with brandy, obviously. Then we've got the roasted carrot. You got some white turnip. Well, I'm excited to try this dish, Rory.
Yeah.
This is something that I know you're very well known for, and I think it'll be a great opportunity for everyone to try at home.
Yeah. So you have your choice. You have the chicken, you have salmon, or you have those lovely croquettes.
There we go.
Yeah.
For the chicken entree, we are going to recommend the Sauvignon Blanc. It is a nice, crisp wine that will go well with the creaminess of the cheese and the prosciutto and the chicken. It'll give you a nice blend. And for a different grape varietal, we recommend, or I recommend, a Malbec or a Viognier for something a little different. I'm a lover of Viogniers. I think they go quite nicely with the chicken, and it's something a little different. So enjoy.
All right, so our next choice of an entree is salmon.
Yes.
So this salmon, this recipe is really dynamite, quite exciting, and very easy to do at home.
Yeah, and when we were developing the recipes that you're trying tonight, is we're looking at items that could fit in the same process. So if you're putting the chicken in the oven, well, you can put the salmon in, maybe about 6 or 7 minutes behind the chicken, but they're going to cook in the same environment. You don't need to have pots and pans coming out of your yin-yang.
And let's face it, timing of food is one of our biggest challenges.
Exactly.
There's nothing worse than going out for dinner and 3 people get their entree and the one person's still waiting, right?
Yeah, so we're taking Atlantic salmon, and we're going to use Canadian Atlantic
Okay.
salmon. We're going to fillet about an 8-ounce piece, 7-ounce piece that will fit onto these planks. And essentially all we're going to do is we're going to take sesame oil in a frying pan. We're going to take sesame oil and vegetable oil, warm it up a bit. We're going to add shallots. We're going to add ginger. We're going to sweat that off. Make sure that the shallots, or baby onions, if you want to call them, that become translucent. We don't want them too raw.
Right.
And then we're going to take that mixture. We're going to add a tiny bit of maple syrup, soy sauce, and all of those ingredients we're going to cool. And then on that piece of salmon that we've laid out, we basically will put that, we'll nappe or coat that salmon with all of those ingredients.
Yes.
And then we'll bake it in the oven. Simple as that. And it goes into the oven for maybe about 20-25 minutes. And when that's halfway done, that rest of that mixture that's in the bottom of the pan that all of our guests have, that will just nappe across the top of it to kind of keep it wet.
And to garnish the salmon, so when we go to plate it, I know that we're gonna, we're doing the sour cream and caramelized onion mashed potatoes, and we're doing the 3 roasted vegetables, the same as what we demonstrated on the chicken dish, obviously. But with the salmon, anything else to garnish it?
I mean, lemon would be basically the acid from the lemon can give off that flavor.
Okay.
I find that with the mixture that's on there, you don't necessarily need a sauce. It's a very healthy healthy meal. You don't need to have a sauce because you have that sauce that you've been basting with it.
So if we had a little bit left in the bottom of the pan, just drizzle it over the top and...
Yeah, before she goes out,
So the folks at home, when they get if they order salmon and when they get it in their package or their basket, we're going to have, it's already going to be marinated, correct?
It's ready to go. You just take it out of the container and put it into the oven.
Perfect. Perfect.
No pots,
nice and easy.
Yes, exactly.
And served with the potatoes and the vegetables, it'll be a dynamite meal.
For the entree of salmon, we would recommend the Jackson Triggs Cab Sauvignon Cab Franc blend. It's a nice subtle balance with the spiciness of the salmon still comes out with the soya and the Asian flavors. We would also recommend another grape varietal, a Chardonnay, Chablis more precise. It's not a big oaky Chardonnay, but Chablis is nice and buttery, goes well with the salmon, as well as a Syrah. So that's our recommendation for the salmon. So enjoy.
So what I thought we would share with everybody in their homes today is a very simple vegetarian dish, which is a barley, black bean, and walnut croquette. Sounds kind of interesting, and we're going to serve it with a Louisiana Creole sauce. You've been down to Louisiana?
Is it super hot?
It certainly is not hot.
Okay.
No, if you go down to the plantations in Louisiana and you have their shrimp Creole, oh, it's not hot. It's just beautiful, beautiful flavor. So we're gonna share this recipe with them.
How does it work?
So here's how it works. We're gonna take some cooked barley. Then we've got some black beans, and we're just using canned black beans. Now you can use dry if you'd like, but that means you gotta cook them. All right, then we have walnuts that we're putting into that mixture. And then I'm gonna physically share a special recipe with everybody in their home, and that is a Mid-Eastern pesto. This pesto, done on any vegetable, cauliflower, carrots, onions, it doesn't matter, a vegetable soup, it is just dynamite. And basically what it is, and don't get too excited at home when I use the word cayenne pepper.
I've got my pen out.
But it is cilantro, it is parsley, a little olive oil, some cayenne pepper, and some black pepper, and a touch of herbs, be it basil and oregano.
Okay.
Blend it up, and we dump it all together. And what we do is we put a little bit of vegetable into it, saute or sweat those vegetables off. Then we're gonna add the black beans. We're gonna add some garlic to
That
it.
helps bind it, the black beans.
The black beans create starch,
And it
right?
helps it bind
Create some
together.
starch.
Right, right.
And then we're gonna add a little bit of vegetable stock, add that charmoula or the Mid-Eastern pesto, and cook it all together with a little bit of vegetable stock. Then we're gonna add the barley and let it soak up all the flavor of that stock and all the spices that we've got inside that dish. Add a little bit of sun-dried cranberry to it, add a few walnuts to it, and we're gonna take it off the stove and let it cool. Once it's cool, then we're going to make little patties, just like you make a beef patty, I guess, at home. We're gonna flatten them out so that we can just cook them in the frying pan so that they're ready to go. We're gonna take them, dip them into flour, put them in some egg wash, and then breadcrumbs. Coat them all and sear them in some hot oil. Fry them one side, fry them the other side, and we're good to go. So down in Louisiana, they have Creole, and it's all about roux. So what we're going to do is we're gonna take a little bit of canola oil, and then we're gonna mix some flour to make our roux, and we're gonna cook that out and let it brown just a little bit. Then we're gonna add some sweet onion and some sweet peppers to it, and cook that right inside that roux. So then we're gonna add a little bit of red wine, and then we're gonna add some stewed tomatoes to it. And now the secret is the spicing. Okay, so we've all heard of the term blackening or Cajun seasoning and all that type of stuff that we're going to add to our sauce. It spices it up a little bit, but it does not overpower the barley croquettes. It's delicious, it just complements, and it's all about creating flavors that complement each other. And then of course we're gonna serve those off. So we have our croquettes, our barley croquettes done with our Creole sauce. And we have our mashed potatoes with sour cream and caramelized onions.
And your vegetables, and you're putting everything into the oven pretty well. This is all happening at the same time.
Correct.
Your chicken can be done, your salmon, you're putting on the pan. So you're really only using one pan. One pan, and that's it.
You're good to go.
Our recommended wine pairing for the vegetarian dish is the Jackson Triggs Cab Sauvignon Cab Franc blend. It has a subtleness of spice to it. It's got enough alcohol content that will complement the Creole sauce and the complexity of the barley, the walnut, and the black bean. It's got a complex balance of flavors. For a alternate wine, again, the Syrah would go quite nicely as well. That would be my recommendation for the croquette. So enjoy. For your final course, dessert, we have a caramel date pudding cake garnished with a sauce of caramel rum and coconut that you will have to heat up in a saucepan. On low heat, I would recommend, so you don't scorch your sauce, but just heat it up gently. And to assemble this dish, you'll need the following. You'll need your pudding cake, which will be supplied to you, your caramel sauce, your caramel rum sauce that is, and your gooseberries for garnish, which are soaked in sambuca. And even add a bit of whipped cream, fresh whipped,
or some ice cream. That's your prerogative. Mine is some nice ice cream. I'm an ice cream lover. That is your final course. Enjoy.
Wow, that was great. We hope you all enjoyed your meals and maybe learned a thing or two from our amazing chefs. I know that I did. Turns out they really do know how to cook. We hope that you have had a chance to check out the swag bags and see all the amazing treats there for you to enjoy. Now it is time for the entertainment portion of the evening. Hopefully you will have some wine left so you can sit back and enjoy the show.